There's my little group that I've got named as high achievers. Okay. Now another new bit that I want to look at is arrows in more complex spreadsheets, and we'll go back to the example that we had earlier on where we had the VLOOKUP formula in it, and we're going to look at something new that's called tracing precedence and tracing dependence. And you're going to see, once I put it on screen, you'll see exactly what this is all about. So let's go back to screen and we'll look at the example that I had here. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's a reasonable amount of data in this, but what there is quite a lot of formulae in it. Now, I want to know, say for example, if we went to the final costs here, I want to know what has brought about those final costs. What were the last couple of calculations that made final costs? So I want to trace the precedence. And literally it shows us there as an example. As soon as I hover the mouse over it, it shows, the arrows show and indicate what cells affect the value of the current selected cell. Well, I'm going to click on that. And you can see the final cost is made up of total cost plus VAT to produce final cost. Well, that's that little bit of formula. But of course, you know, then if I find out what total cost was, what functions were producing the total cost, I can remove arrows, click on total cost, go back up, trace precedence, and there I've got here subtotal 2, less discount, produce total cost. Okay, that's fair enough. I remove arrows again. Well, how did we get subtotal 2? Subtotal 2, trace precedence, and we go across subtotal 1 and backwards with it. I just want to go back so it shows you where the VLOOKUP formulae came from. I'm going to remove those. Go back to there. Back up to trace precedence. We go back across the screen here, and it's showing you that it goes from basic costs plus extra nights plus cost of extra nights, etc. Again, remove those arrows, cost of extra nights, trace precedence, and now if we go back over to here, we can see that the VLOOKUP came from the original table, and the data came from the original table. I'll just zoom out so you get a better image of it. And the data in the original table that I gave my students was able to track back from Cyprus back to there, cost of the extra nights, and calculated it like that to produce all those different results which carried on one after the other, building on each other to produce the end result in our spreadsheet. And the idea of obviously tracing the precedence, we can see what affected the results as we go along stage by stage. So that's a new little feature, and I quite like that. And again, if I want to trace the dependence, I can do, and it works the other way as well. So that's quite nice, and I must admit I quite like that system. And of course, on a spreadsheet like this, we can use the previous shortcut, the control and graph, to see what we've got in terms of all the formulas shown. And I'll just zoom in so you can now see some of the different formulae that perhaps you could be practicing with and expanding your comfort zone. And now that the new and more complex formulae are available literally in your face on the ribbon there.